What he is trying to convey is, this is what I would do if I were trans. Oh, if I was a woman, I would just sexually assault all the women. That's what he said. He said he would molest another woman if he went to jail. I am a little bit late to this. You may or may not have heard what's going on with Dave Chappelle, but he recently released another new Netflix special. It seems like every special he's been doing since like 2018 or whatever, he's been taking shots at trans people, and it's been getting like progressively worse. This one is by far the worst yet. This whole bit is talking about how he got to meet Jim Carrey at one point, right? While Jim Carrey was studying for a role, and he was method acting. And so Jim Carrey was constantly in the character, so much so that he didn't want anybody calling him Jim. He wanted them calling him whatever the hell the person's name was. So he talks for 2 minutes about how Jim Carrey is method acting as Andy Kaufman. Okay? 2 minutes to get to this point.
Clearly, Jim Carrey. I could look at him and I could see he was Jim Carrey. Anyway, I say all that to say, that's how trans people make me feel.
Okay. So yeah, two and a half minutes just to get to go like, yeah, I don't think trans people are women. Or I don't think trans women are women. I don't think trans men are men. You can call yourself whatever you want, but I don't see you that way. Basically, 2.5 minutes to say, yeah, I'm transphobic. And I don't respect you or your identity or your life experience or anything. There's another bit in here posted by the same loser. Dave Chappelle talks about going to jail identifying as a woman. Get ready for this.
But if I do, I hope it's in California. Because as soon as the judge sentenced me, I'll be like, Your Honor, before you sentence me, I just went to court to know I identify as a woman.
Really funny, hilarious bit. Just want to say that this has never, ever been done before. Ever. We've never heard this in 2024. Brand new stuff.
Send me to women's jail. And as soon as I get in there, you know what I'm gonna be doing? Give me a fruit cocktail, bitch, before I knock your motherfucking teeth out. I'm a girl just like you, bitch. Come over here.
He's about to say something pretty out of pocket. So it just, yeah, immediately says, oh yeah, if I were a woman, or if I was gonna go to jail, just say I was a woman, so I could just assault other women and take their stuff.
Come over here and suck this girl dick I got. Don't make me explain myself. I'm a girl.
Did you catch that? I know this is supposed to be funny. It's a joke, but the irony shouldn't be lost on you in this garbage. Like, to me, it's like, what he is trying to convey is, yeah, this is what I would do if I were trans. I mean, he's not trans, but the problem with this, and this is a big problem with a lot of transphobes in general, is that this is where that whole mentality of like trans women, you know, invading women's spaces or whatever, they're just gonna assault women because that's what I would do, you know. And like this is not unique to Dave Chappelle, the sentiment that, oh, if I was a woman, I would just sexually assault all the women. That's what he said. He said he would molest another woman if he went to jail. That's supposed to be funny. That's the joke, sexual assault. And it's so wild to me because they'll, like, so many conservatives and transphobes will make jokes like this, and it tells us more about them than it tells us about trans people. All that says is that if given the opportunity, they would rape women. That's what this, because like there's, I don't know if you know this or not, but there's no data set anywhere saying that this is a thing. Have you seen the joke about feeling confused about dancing with a trans woman at a club and then some underhanded comment about sleeping with her anyway? It was odd. What, from him?
The only reason I ever been mad at the transgender community is because I was at a club in LA and danced with one of these for 6 songs straight. I had no idea. And we ended up having breakfast together. Oh, grow up, that doesn't make me gay. I just titty fucked her.
I really want you to like take that in, how much worse he's gotten. Because it went from like, yeah, I don't really get it, but she's hot, I'll still have sex with her, all the way to straight up, I'm Team Turf, and now we're at, oh, yeah, trans women probably sexually assault other women because I would do that. That's the joke. That's what he's saying. And people think it's funny. Like, the people laughing at this don't seem to grasp what he's saying here. That if given the opportunity, he would sexually assault women. And you could say, oh, it's a joke. Oh, he's not being serious. But, like, these types of jokes, this type of rhetoric, only perpetuates the idea that trans women are all predators and they only want to get into women's spaces to assault women. That's what that does. That's what they think. That's the basis of the joke. Gender comedy is an all-time low, which very much comes off as just a joke. Stop being so, like, yeah, it's so wild too, because, like, comedy, particularly conservative comedy from, like, dying comedians who haven't been relevant for 15 years since Comedy Central was a TV network people watched, like Sarah Silverman and also Ricky Gervais, who coincidentally also just released a special, didn't have an announcement for one, and just says how much it's going to trigger and it's offensive, but didn't mention the word funny, how funny it was going to be, because it's not what it is. It's him just preaching. All of them are grasping to this. Adam Carolla is another one, the guy that was like, what was it? His show was like voicing puppets who make prank phone calls. Like, that was his thing. That's what he was known for. There was the guy that was in what was that movie with Dave Chappelle? What was it called? It was a big stoner guy. What the fuck was his name? I can't think of it. I'll look for it later and I'll post his picture and name in the video after. But all these guys that used to be, and women too, Sarah Silverman's another one. All these people that used to be relevant and are just clinging for relevancy because they see this as an opportunity to get in more, you know, to sell specials, sell tickets or whatever. They all do the same thing and they're punching down. Which is like, I mean, there's always been comedians that do that. Andrew Dice Clay was one that did that a lot. Very controversial. I was never really a fan of him at all. But it's way more prevalent now for comedians to, like, this type of comedian, the Dave Chappelle, the Sarah Silverman, Ricky Gervais, etc., to punch down at trans people, at gay people, etc., right? Whereas that's not what comedy is. Like, it's about punching up. With comedy, like, you could tell, like, oh, it's just jokes, blah 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 blah, but you are telling stories. You are sending a message. You have you have a bias that's intertwined and woven into your jokes and your material. It is. And if you compare, like, what Dave Chappelle is doing now, saying I'm Team Turf, all trans women, you know, just want to assault other women, to people like George Carlin, it's like, it's laughable. Not even, she's a different word. It's embarrassing. It's repulsive. Where, like, you know, the state of our biggest comedians are at now compared to the days of Richard Pryor and George Carlin and even Eddie Murphy and back then, right? This is so awful as a black person who knows about the history of the U.S. lynching based on demonizing black men as essayers, to watch a black dude do this to another marginalized group. Yeah, that's the other, like, really wild part, is that, like, because Dave Chappelle for a long time was like, something Dave Chappelle did really well in the early 2000s as one of the most prominent voices of black comedy, was able to reach a part of America that didn't understand black people or culture at all. And that was through the Chappelle show, right? Like, he did a great job of punching up systemic racism and white supremacy in a way that, like, not only was funny, but also educated people on how real that stuff was. You know? Like, how many, if you think about it, who are the people, like, especially in the past, like, 5-10 years, that talk about Chappelle show the most? It's white dudes in their 30s. I mean, at least in my experience, every single time I've seen somebody or heard somebody mention Dave Chappelle show out of nowhere, it's always a white dude, right? Like, it reached white America so well. It did such a great job of that. And so it's really weird to see this guy who is a member of a marginalized group, understands how toxic that stuff is, right? To now just do the same thing. To now take that toxicity and punch down on another marginalized group because he's got the bag now, right? Like, it's so wild to me. it's really sad to see that, you know, because he's like, it's such a, like, there's, okay, and there's gonna be like a bunch of like, you know, people on Twitter that go, oh, Dave Chappelle was never funny, blah, 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 blah. He was. And he's like, it's not to say that he's untalented. Something that he does really well is tell stories, right? Like, if you're not looking for what he's saying, it's really easy to get caught up in it. I posted about this, and somebody actually commented and really encapsulated what he does incredibly well, saying, thought he was cool at first, but after seeing how transphobic and just dumb he is, his comedy is just unraveled in front of me. All he does is tell some long story with big words or controversial to make the audience get engaged, then deliver some mediocre punchline, and you feel almost forced to laugh at the half funny joke he hits you with at the end because you were so engaged in the story and didn't expect what he said. That's so that's almost exactly what he does. I couldn't have captured it better. What he does now, it's a lot less energy than what his stand-up and you know, work was before, especially Chappelle's show. It's a lot less in your face, like, impact stuff. It's mostly just getting your attention with, you know, a really good speaking voice, almost soft-spoken, really calm demeanor. Like, coming to you as just another guy, right? Just some guy that you could meet at the gas station, right? While, you know, you just finish work. Or somebody you run into at the bar, right? Coming to you as just an everyday person to get on your level, and he lures you in with that and then hits you with "I'm Team Turf." And that normalizes what he says, because he's just spent 5, 10, 20 minutes coming across as relatable to you and being so encapsulating with his delivery and his language that when he says something like that, it's not as it doesn't make you like flinch or clutch your pearls as much as opposed to if he opened with that. Does that make sense? I think people like him know what they're doing. I just think they drink their own. No. Yeah, I totally agree. I'm not saying that he doesn't realize he's doing this. He knows, right? He absolutely knows what he's doing. Does manage to find time here and there to remind you how great he thinks he is. Didn't he like he went to go speak at his high school that he regularly donates money to. This was shortly after the Team Turf thing, and as a rule, he told people, he told the school and the students that they weren't allowed to bring their phones in, and they weren't allowed to ask questions. Or actually, one student brought up what he said about, what was it that they said? I don't want to misrepresent this, but one student asked him a question or criticized him in some way, and he got so defensive over like a high schooler. Wait, this literally just happened in December 30th. Look, this isn't even what I was looking for. Dave Chappelle walks off stage after reportedly getting upset with fan using a phone. This is from just 2 weeks ago. He's performing at the Hard Rock Live at the Seminole Hard Rock Hotel Casino. According to the Herald, Chappelle reportedly noticed a fan near the front rows with a phone out. The newspaper reported that Chappelle was angry and scolded the fan before leaving the stage and ending his set early. Many fans paid over $100 per ticket to see the show. The venue's website says select events are device and electronics free per the artist's request. Net phones and other devices are placed into locked pouches and are not open until the end of the show. Like, I mean, to be fair, if this is like the rule of the venue, it's the rule of the venue, right? But so like, get so upset over it that you end your set early. Your set that people paid $100 each. Oh, I think it said upwards. Oh no, yeah, over $100 each. You're gonna end your set early? It's a stupid rule. Well, I get the reason for it. It's so like other people can't post your shit, and then you don't get, you know, you can't make money off of it, right? Like, you've seen tons of comedians on Instagram, I'm sure, show up in your reels. Like, they get exposure, and, you know, it comes directly from their channel. They might get ad revenue off of it. Like, you know, I understand that, but you're Dave Chappelle. You got plenty of money, and additionally, you just eventually tell the person to put their phone away, man. But to, like, yeah, a bit of a diva, exactly. Like, it's kind of wild. We'll just get security, give them the move. Yeah, just, like, kick them out then. Don't let you ruin the show for everybody else. I mean, if you ask them several times and they know they're not supposed to have it, sure. Tell them they can put their phone away or they can leave. But don't, like, storm off and pout and ruin the show for everybody there, man. Come on. He's really kind of let this shit go to his head. His success in general. He doesn't... It almost makes me wonder, like, who he surrounds himself with these days. Oh, like, this seems to be like a new midlife crisis thing, to just suddenly become like super transphobic and isolated and only surround yourself with yes men. Cough cough, Elon Musk. Who I think, wait, didn't Dave Chappelle like bring Elon Musk on stage for a show like last year and then get booed for it and then say they were being disrespectful? Like, this is what I'm talking about with the punching up thing. You bring on like one of the planet's richest people, a billionaire who bought a social media site that suppresses free speech now, the power that you're supposed to speak truth to, and then get mad when the everyday man and woman, an NB, voices their discernment towards that person, voices their unhappiness, and then say, now, don't boo, let's be nice. Like, come on, bro. Why are you running defense for a billionaire? What kind of sellout pussyfooting shit is that? You know what I mean? Like, that's wild. This is what I mean when he's like really falling down. We are in an unprecedented time where our favorite celebrities are getting older and we're slowly finding out they're terrible people. Like finding out Chappelle, one of the pioneers of Afro surrealism, is a term. Honestly, like, Dave Chappelle these days feels like a character that would be in Atlanta, the show. Like, he like, basically, like, his fucking character arc sounds like a character that Donald Glover would write into Atlanta. That's what it feels like to me. No, it was 90% cheers and 10% booze. Yeah, no, you don't understand. There's 10% booze, but they were all right next to the camera. That's what it was. One of famous heroes, fame taints everything it touches. Fame, power, and money. What is the thing? Corrupts absolutely, or whatever. Yeah, that's it. Thank you, Glass. Yeah. His last special, he had a whole speech that was seriously just about how he's the GOAT. Wait, the same one I'm talking about. Was it? Fame and money are forms of power, so those work too. Yeah, fame and money manifest themselves as power. Yeah, man, it's ridiculous. Well, here, to make you feel better, here's Grumpus. Here is Grumpus with a flower on him. Look at him. Witness him. Kiss him. Give him a kiss. Just a little pin. I can't speak. Just a little peck. A little peck. Give him a kiss. He's real kind, and he needs to be loved.